Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Oh my God, I was just on my stories and I wanted to share some lessons from tonight after my dinner. And I decided I always have so much to say, so I decided I might as well just come on here and share some lessons with you guys tonight. As a binge eating coach, I have a few lessons I want to share with you guys from tonight. So the first thing is I had this plan that I wanted to go to yoga tonight. And I was planning on going to a 7:30 p.m. yoga class. And I love yoga. It makes me feel so good. I had this plan of like, okay, you're going to go to yoga, 7:30 p.m. And I was going about my day. And after lunch, I started getting hungry for a snack. It was like 3:45. I just got back from a walk. And I had a snack around 3:45. And I didn't obviously want to wait until dinner because I knew that I would just be ravenous. So it wasn't a smart idea for me to ignore my hunger and just wait until dinner, because that wouldn't be me listening to my body and it wouldn't be listening to my hunger. But I also didn't want to have anything too heavy because I knew that I would be having dinner in just a little bit. So I just had some fruit and some nuts and whatever. And then I was like going about my night, and I knew that I had to go to my yoga class and I needed to leave at 7 o'clock. And I don't like eating too close to yoga because, you want to be able to move your body. You want to be able to feel really good. So it was like 5 o'clock and I'm like, I'm not that hungry. Like, I literally just had a snack. I'm like, I'm not that hungry. And I was like, okay, well, like, let me wait it out a little bit. And it was like 5:30. And then it was 6, and then it was 6:15, and then it was 6:20, and it was 6:30, and then around like 6:40, like just before this, I started to get hungry, and I just made some food for my husband and I. So I was like, okay, this is a good time to eat. And I had, this thought in my mind, like, okay, like, are you still going to go to yoga? Like, you would have to leave in 20 minutes. Like, are you still going to go to yoga, right? And I started getting hungry around 6:40. So I'm like, I'm going to have my meal. Like, I'm not going to just eat a tiny little baby size meal so I can go to yoga. Like, to me, that didn't make sense. To me, I'm like, I'm hungry. I want an actual dinner. I'm not going to eat like a bird just so that I can go to yoga and not be super full. So I was like, okay, what makes the most sense is I'm going to have dinner because it's 6:40. I'm going to eat now. And I'm going to check in with how I feel after my meal and then make a decision. So I finished my meal and I was like, you know what? I actually don't even feel like going to yoga. I know I would have to leave in like 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't really feel like going to yoga. And a few lessons here. Number one, you're allowed to skip a workout. You're allowed to not go to that workout class that you planned. You're allowed to take a day off. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to just not go. A few years ago, that would have never been possible. I would have never missed a workout, or if I did, I would feel extremely guilty. I would be beating myself up. Like, you're allowed to just decide not to go to a class. You're allowed to not, you're allowed to change your mind. And what's the most important thing here is listening to your body. Yes, I had these good intentions of like, okay, I'm going to go to yoga tonight. But then I actually asked my body and I'm like, I really don't feel like it. I really don't feel like it. I don't see myself as a failure or like, you suck, you're not motivated. No, I'm actually very wise and very smart because I'm actually tuning into my body and figuring out what my body needs. So that's really like the first lesson that I want you guys to take out of this. The second thing, honoring your hunger. So I could have easily said at 3:45 when I wanted to have a snack, I could have easily said, like, don't have a snack. You need to eat in a few hours for dinner. Like, don't have the snack. I could have easily said that. I do not do that. As soon as I feel hunger, I listen to my body. Why? Because the more times that you feel hunger and the more times you dismiss hunger, the more your body stops sending you those signals. If every single time you feel hungry and you dismiss it, you're like, oh, I'm just going to push it back. I'm not going to listen to my hunger. Your body is like, this person does not even listen to me. I am no longer going to send her signals. I'm no longer going to send her hunger signals because she doesn't listen to them anyways. And for so many of you guys, you're like, I don't know when I'm hungry. I don't feel hunger. And I'm like, no. You feel hunger. You just don't pay attention or honor the hunger. You have awareness of I'm hungry, but it's really easy to push off that feeling of hunger and be like, I'm just going to wait a little bit longer, especially in the mornings, right? I used to do intermittent fasting. I do not recommend it, but I used to do it. And I would be so hungry, let's say at 8 o'clock, and I'm like, I have to push off my meal. I have to push off my meal. I have to push off my meal. And I wasn't listening to my body. I was hungry and I wasn't listening. So tonight, when I had my snack, I was hungry at 3:45. I do not have set times of when I have snacks. I don't have set times of, when I have dinner. I don't even have set amounts of meals or snacks that I have. Some days I'll have 5 meals. Some days I'll have 2 meals. Some days I'll have 3. Like, it's always different. I don't say this is when you need to eat because I don't know if I'm going to be hungry. So again, I had this plan of going to yoga at 7:30, but I chose to eat dinner because I was hungry, and I knew that if I just had something small so that I wouldn't be super full going to yoga, like I would probably get home from yoga and like I would have to eat again, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm like, no, like I'm hungry now, like I want to actually have a meal. And I just also didn't feel like it, and that's okay. So it's okay to miss your workouts. Like, it's okay to take time to rest. And I'm not saying like use this as an excuse. I'm not saying, oh, just don't work out and then use it as an opportunity to just like go and binge. Because some of you guys get into that all or nothing mentality. It's like, well, if I'm skipping my workout, then might as well just eat all the potato chips, or might as well just go for ice cream, right? And it's not that. It's just like listening to your body. The other thing that I want to share is, so for dinner, I had beef and potatoes and I did not feel like vegetables. How many of you guys feel like you need to have vegetables at your meal? This was a belief that I had for so long. I thought my meal was not going to be perfect unless there was vegetables. And don't get me wrong, I love my vegetables. I love them. I love my salad and my broccoli, my zucchini. Like, yeah, it's so common, right? And I believe that like in order for me to have a perfect meal, there needed to be vegetables. Like if there was not vegetables at my meal, I'm like, this is not a perfect meal. This is not balanced. This is not perfect. Like, this isn't a meal. But sometimes we don't feel like vegetables, and that is okay. That is okay. I used to literally force myself, and again, I love vegetables, so normally I will have them at a lot of my meals, but there would be times where I wouldn't feel like them, but I would force myself to have vegetables at my meal because that's what quote unquote you're supposed to do, and you have to have a perfect meal. And then I would be full from my meal, but I wouldn't be satisfied. And then this is when, right after my meal, I would go for something sweet, or I would have more carbs, or I would have something else because I actually wasn't satisfied. But I was full. I wasn't satisfied. And then this is when a lot of people like feel really sick after their meal because you checked off the box of full, but you didn't check off the back box of satisfied because you're so worried about trying to be perfect with your meal that you made sure you had vegetables versus just being okay with having rice and beef, or like I had tonight, potatoes and beef. And like, that's fine. I don't consider that a bad meal. I don't consider that like whatever. It's just, that's what I was craving. So if you have this belief of I need to have vegetables at every single one of my meals, you might have a salad for dinner and you actually don't really want that. And then that's when you might go in the cupboards afterwards and look for more snacks or look for sweets or look for, something else that you really want. I want to just give you permission that it is okay to have a meal without vegetables. And at the same day, it is also okay to not have vegetables and to not go to your yoga class or to not do the workout. Like, that is okay. Right? Like, you're not a failure. You're actually not doing anything wrong. You're actually just listening to your body. But there's so much fear. There's a lot of fear of listening to our bodies. Because maybe for so long you haven't listened to your body and you relied on MyFitnessPal. Maybe for so long you haven't listened to your body and you relied on, Weight Watchers or keto or intermittent fasting to like tell you when you should eat or how much you should eat. Your body knows best. And I will never not listen to my body. Like, I will always choose to listen to my body because I trust my body. I trust that my body is always working for me. If I don't want vegetables for one of my meals, that is totally okay. If I'm tired and I would rather, just not go to my yoga class, like, that is totally okay. Where are you beating yourself up unnecessarily? Where are you beating yourself up when you're trying to be perfect with your meal, but there's actually no such thing as like perfect eating? You might be beating yourself up for not eating vegetables at your meal, and here I am, I just had dinner without vegetables, right? So I just wanted to share this with you guys to really give you permission to rest when your body is tired, to eat when you're hungry. Like, don't dismiss your hunger, right? It doesn't matter the times that you eat. If you're hungry when no one else in your family is hungry, eat. If you want a snack and no one else is hungry, eat. If you want to have a snack a little bit later, and then maybe that means that you have dinner a little bit later, that's okay. Every day is going to be different. Every day is different for me. I literally cannot tell you what time I have lunch. I can't tell you what time I have dinner. Like, it's always different. I can't tell you if I'm going to have a snack tomorrow or not. Like, I just tune into my body and then I figure out in that moment, right? Like tonight, I was planning on going to yoga at 7:30 and I'm like, well, I'm going to have dinner because I knew that if I didn't have dinner, that wouldn't have been smart. I would have came home at 8:30. By the time I showered, by the time I showered, drove home, like it would be like whatever, 9 o'clock or whatever. And then I would be so hungry and that wouldn't make me feel good. So don't just go to the workout class to check it off the list. Don't just go to the workout class to, I got to burn off calories. If I went to the yoga class and I didn't eat dinner, I wouldn't have even been, it would have been a really crappy yoga class. I would have been like hungry. And that's not a good class. A few years ago, I would do that. And the whole time I'd be thinking about food. The whole time my stomach would be grumbling and I'm like, I can't wait to go home and binge. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, now I choose to fuel my body, not restrict. I choose to listen to my body, not dismiss my hunger cues. I choose to really pay attention to my body. And as a result, I feel the best that I ever have. As a result, I don't binge. As a result, I don't overeat. As a result, I feel so damn good. So this is your permission slip to actually listen to your body and trust the signals that your body is sending you. If your body is like, hey, I don't feel like working out today, that's okay. If your body is sending you a signal of like, hey, you want a little bit more chocolate today, it is okay. If your body is like, hey, I actually don't feel like vegetables today, we're just gonna have some potatoes and beef, that is okay. That is not taking care of yourself. I still take good care of myself. I went for a walk today. I worked out. So I'm like, I also don't need to go to yoga. I'm tired. I don't need to. Right? So this is where it's so important to have that self-trust. Self-trust within yourself, self-trust within your body, because you truly know your body best. And we can't be looking at what other people are doing. Oh, she eats vegetables at every single one of her meals. That's what I have to do. Oh, she works out 7 days per week. That's what I have to do. Stop looking externally. You're not going to find answers there. You're going to find answers within you, within yourself. What do I feel like doing? Am I hungry now? There are many times where Andrew doesn't want a snack and I'm eating a snack. I don't care. Sunday night, I made chocolate chip, banana, walnut muffins. Oh my gosh, they were so good. And I was like so excited. I'm like, Andrew, I made muffins. And he's like, I don't want one. I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna have one. But before, I would have been like, oh my gosh, he's not having a muffin. And then I would second guess my choices. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have a muffin. If he's not having it, like, should I not be having it? I would second guess myself. I would always look externally. He's not having a snack, well then maybe I shouldn't. He's not hungry, well then maybe I shouldn't be hungry. What? No. Just because he's not hungry doesn't mean that I can't eat. But so often we don't trust ourselves. It's like when you don't trust yourself, you have to look outside of yourself. Oh, I don't know if I'm hungry, so I'm going to wait to see if this person's going to eat something, and then if this person's eating something, then maybe I'll have something. You know when you're out for dinner, and it's like everyone's done their meal, and then it's like dessert time. And it's like, okay, I don't know if I want dessert, because maybe you're not very in tune with your body. And then it's like, I'm going to wait to see if somebody's going to get dessert, and then if somebody else is going to get dessert, then I'll get dessert. But if no one's getting dessert, I'm not going to get dessert. Do you do that? That is you focusing on like external things. It doesn't matter if Susie and Bob and Billy aren't getting dessert. If you want dessert, you're going to own that and you're going to choose to get dessert. Just like tonight, I'm like, I don't want vegetables at my meal. That's okay. I don't feel like going to yoga. That's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up. And I'm also not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do my workout, so I'm not going to go to yoga. Like, I'm just going to, like, have a binge tonight. Like, no, that's not the way that it works. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. A few different lessons for you guys. And I just find that, like, this is what I would really need to hear, especially with, like, the exercise part and, you know, trying to be perfect with a meal. Like, I hope you guys found this helpful in one way or another. Like I said, I was going on my stories and I'm like, I always have so much to say. I'm like, let me just hop on live. There's like so many new people here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. And look at the positive. I got to spend like 18 minutes hanging out with you guys on this Thursday evening. Like, how fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love doing these like live streams and just like hanging out with you guys. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope you guys will, you know, take something out of this. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, you guys, and we'll see you soon. This was very valuable advice. Yay! I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Kessa, I think the name's Kessa. Thank you. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.